I'm curious, and I meant to ask this earlier, and I got distracted by a different question. But when we were talking about it's easy to connect the dots in hindsight, but not going forward. Are you big on vision and goals? And I ask because I know David is huge on goals and vision, and in fact, I at a Bigger Pockets conference in 2018, that was almost his entire presentation, I think, was on that. And so I'm curious if you're still very much a vision goal guy and just not so much on like worrying about how to get there, or if you're kind of just a go with the flow.
I am a big vision and goal guy. And the reason I am is I'm trying to train my subconscious mind to move in the direction at which I want to move. Now, like I said, I don't think you can connect the dots perfectly looking forward, but I think you can help put yourself in a position where the dots can easily be connected. And so I have a 5-year vision. This year I'm crafting a 25-year vision. I have a vision board right above where my socks and underwear are, so I have to look at it every damn day. I have goals that I review probably twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. I have 2 accountability partners plus David that I talk about my goals and my vision and where I'm at. And I'm just trying to surround myself with accountability and things that hold me accountable to doing what I said I want to do. Now, the thing that I've changed over the last, call it 7 years, is I've become a little more flexible in not being so hard on myself if the goal changes a little bit, or things change a little bit. Like when I set my 2022 goals in late December, I have this theory that if I set goals in mid-December, I'll have 2 extra weeks in the year than anybody else. So I start working on next year in the middle of December. Now, the thing I always forget when I set these stupid intentions is come the middle of December when I'm setting next year's goals and I start working on next year, I still had 12 months. So, it's just my little theory to get a head start on people. But you could also say that I don't ever finish the race because I'm starting the next race too soon. But when I set those goals, I was healthy and in a really good, physical state. And, 2 weeks after that, I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And so I had to be flexible and fluid with the goals I had set for myself, because doing CrossFit 75 times this year is just out of the question. I'm not going to be putting myself in a place where I'm going to be doing box jumps or anything crazy because I don't need to rupture this thing again. So, probably 7 years ago, Matt King would have just said, screw it. I'm hard headed. I'm stubborn. I'll do it. And, 32-year-old version of Matt King is like, I'll just modify the goal. I'll change it. No big deal.
Yeah, it's funny because it's really easy to get sucked into exactly what you just said. Like, nope, this is what I wrote down, and if I don't achieve this, and so similarly, at the beginning of the year, one of my goals was a 7-figure wholesaling and flipping, gross 7 figures this year with the company that was only around for like 18 months, and then I essentially had a mutiny is probably a good word. It is what it is. But the team went from 2 W-2 and 4 1099 to 1 1099 in about the matter of 3 days, because one gentleman was like, I can do this on my own. I'll pay everybody better. Let's go. And then, good luck. But so I ended up, the PSA isn't signed, but the attorneys are going back and forth. We're selling that company. I'm going to walk away just fine. And I'm going to go focus on things that actually I enjoy a lot more, because that business was much too transactional. You got to feed the beast. It's not something that I really enjoyed as much as I thought I would. So, it works out. But obviously, like, had I been hard-headed, I'd be in the spot where it's like, well, now I got to hire 5 more people and rebuild this whole thing that I don't even really enjoy anymore. And, I agree completely, that fluidity.
Yeah, David has a great saying. He says there's 2 reasons you don't achieve your goals. 1, you die, and 2, you change your mind. Now, you can't say like, hey, I want to be 150 pounds and then plow Culver's cheeseburgers all year and go like, oh, I changed my mind. I just want to be a fat ass. Like, you can't, like, that's not acceptable. But like, you changed your mind. This isn't fulfilling me. This isn't resonating with my soul. This isn't in alignment with where I want to go. So I'm just going to change my mind and choose something else. And I used to think that was a cop-up. What I've come to realize, or at least the story I tell myself, is it actually takes a lot of awareness and a high level of internal awareness to say, hey, this is outside of where I want to go. I'm going to choose something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's it's funny because it's a really difficult thing to realize that you should quit on, like, quit something that isn't serving you. And it's funny because it's so easy to get stuck in that trap of like, I don't quit. Especially like I spent 13 years in the Marine Corps. We're pretty hard headed, individuals. We, kind of asinine sometimes. And so like, oh no, I'm going to keep doing this thing. Why? Like,
Yeah. Like I said, if it's like a workout and you're like, hey, I'm tired, I'm going to quit. Like, that's different. If it's like, hey, I wanted to run a marathon, but I've torn my ACL and broke my ankle and I have heart conditions. Well, then, yeah, probably choose something else. It's okay.